What's up guys, today I'm going to be showing off the Boss Waza BP-1W boost pedal. It's a preamp boost and it's really cool. It's very simple and straightforward, deceptively so actually, but it has gain, volume, and a three-way toggle switch to toggle between three different modes, and it also has a buffer switch on the back to toggle between a vintage buffer that has kind of a softer rolled off sound or just a normal standard buffer that preserves all the clarity and presence of your signal. I do have the guys at Zzounds to thank for sending me this to try out for a little while. I'm going to be taking it on stage this weekend with two other products, one of them being this Schecter Aaron Marshall guitar, and another one being a new amp that don't want to talk about just yet, but it's pretty cool. Today I'm going to be going through the Mad Ryan Silver Jubilee, and I will scoot this thing over so you can see what's happening here. Yeah, so as you can see, there's not a whole lot going on. You got two knobs and a three-way switch, and that's pretty much it. But it does a lot, and the three different modes have a good amount of flexibility and different options with voicings for your sound, and it changes based on where the gain and the level knobs are set to. So it may sound a certain way with them set one way, and as you change them, it can really shift the voicing. So speaking of the voicings, this has the old Roland Space Echo voice over here to the left, a sort of a neutral or natural sound that doesn't really color it very much in the middle, and then the far right switch is, I guess, emulating the preamp of the old Boss Chorus Ensemble pedal from back in the day, the big old huge thing, not the little blue box that I've had several of. But yeah, so as far as the Marshall settings, the depth is at 3 o'clock. Everything else is dimed. Master output is at 1. The lead master is at noon. And right now the gain is at around 10 o'clock. So it's a good middle of the road crunchy sound. All right, here goes. Move over to the natural. And the CE. The CE mode has a lot of really good bite to it, which comes in handy once you've got way more gain happening with the amp. So I'm going to back to the RE mode, and I'm going to raise the level up. And just for reference, this is the pedal off. Natural mode. All right, I'm going to take the level all the way up here. me turn it off real quick and you can hear how the natural mode really doesn't color the sound hardly at all. It's just sort of like more of everything. There's not an overabundance of highs or lows or anything like that. It's very flat sounding. So that's natural mode. All right, I'm gonna back the level down and raise the gain up. So this is it's gonna start getting spicy, and it's probably gonna get really noisy with me being like literally right up against this amp, but we'll see how it goes. Again, this is off. Natural mode. CE. And bypassed. All right, taking the level back to noon, and we're gonna just take the gain all the way up and see what happens. It got kind of fuzzy. So that's how the character really shifted a lot there, raising the gain up. It sounds completely different versus natural. Bypassed. And RE. The bottom end and the lower mids are kind of in between the natural and the CE mode. It's got a little bit of that fuzz that the fuzzy sound that the CE mode had, but not quite as much. Still a little bit cleaner, but not as clean as the natural mode. All right, back the gain down halfway. I'm just going to leave both of them at noon, and I'm going to raise the amp gain to about 1 o'clock here. So this is bypassed. That's where I run the amp live, and that sound right there can do almost anything. Which is why I've had this thing for so long. It got a creaminess to the mid-range. And the top end is rolled off a little bit. I think I like this mode the best. It's got a good bite on the top end that for me is very desirable when I want to increase the gain of an amp. Tell you what, I'm going to raise that up and pull that down a little bit and see what we get. All right, we're drop tuned now, and juiced up the gain on the amp just a tad more. It's at 3 o'clock now. Again, this is bypassed. That's definitely my favorite. the bite that the CE mode brings in, especially when you're using the preamp booster to just really hammer that front end. That extra sparkle and bite in the top end definitely helps out. So again, bypassed. The RE mode still does bring a little bit of sparkle to the top end, but it also does something really funky, not in a bad way, with the mids and the lower mids. It kind of like, it thickens them up in an interesting way. Like for example, let me just show you that again. Cleaned up there in the low end. It softened up the low end attack. Alright, so what do I think about this guy? I think obviously it's built like a tank and this thing will probably outlive some of us. I like the simplicity of it. You're not hit with an overwhelming amount of options and choice paralysis that you can get with some of these other drive pedals that have tons of different modes and switches and things like that. You sort of get what you get, and you have 3 flavors of a boost. And I think that although they're not huge differences between the 3 different sounds, there's enough variation in there that I think that it's got a sound for pretty much every situation and every amp. And this is after playing it through all of my different amps, playing through several different songs of different genres and different styles. I've found a way to incorporate some sound out of this pedal in every situation. So it's deceptively simple, but it's very flexible at the same time. And I think that that's that's a cool trick to be able to pull off. And I think that the having the different buffer on there is nice, because if you're wanting something that's a lot more rolled off and less in your face, that softens the sound in a very pleasing way, where it doesn't muffle the sound in sort of like a blanket over the speaker type way. It just shaves off a little bit of that aggression and top end in a very pleasing and smooth way. So I really like that they've included that option in there. All right, so pricing wise, it brings a lot to the table for $170, and I think that just in my own overdrive collection comparison, the Golden Boy for me is still at the top, but it's also almost twice as expensive. And speaking to the simplicity of this, the Golden Boy does not have that. The Golden Boy is a very complicated and complex pedal that can get basically any kind of sound that you want. So for the price and the amount of options that that pedal has, I expect to take a long time to really fine tune it and get the exact sound that I'm after, even down to different amps needing different settings. With this, it's way easier to just hit it, flip the switch, tweak a knob or two, and just be done with it and enjoy it. So there's definitely the trade-off there, but it's a plus and minuses thing. So I'm going to take this on stage Saturday night. That's in 2 days, and we're going to see what this thing sounds like. I did run it through the Badlander. It makes the Badlander sound really awesome, but that kind of shouldn't be a surprise given how great that amp sounds with a boost. But yeah, so tested it with the Mesa circuit, tested it with the Marshall circuit, tested it with the SLO. Sounds awesome with that. And I mean, it sounds good. It's not one of those pedals that sometimes pedals can either work or not work with certain different amp circuits. Like the Mesa Studio preamp that I used to have, it was very, very picky with pedals, and to a degree the SLO is as well. Some pedals like the Golden Boy really don't work that well with that amp, no matter what setting I try. The Klon works unbelievably well with the SLO, and this kind of falls somewhere in between of sounding good and usable, but not as good as the Klon. But on the flip side, the Klon does not sound good at all through another amp that I'll be reviewing here shortly. But this sounds really good, and the Golden Boy sounds phenomenal. So it's very situational based on the amp. If you've got something like a Marshall, which kind of takes anything you throw at it and just works, this is a good option to try out. And I think that there's quite a few videos of this pedal that show it off boosting other amps. And hopefully you enjoyed what it sounded like through this Jubilee here. And if you want to try it out, I will have an affiliate link for this and pretty much everything else that I've used to get the sound that you've been hearing. So you can check that stuff out. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but greatly helps my channel. So speaking of helping my channel, I'm almost at 4,000 subscribers, and that will be a huge milestone. So if you're one of the, 90-something% of viewers who aren't subscribed, man, give the channel some love and subscribe. Again, doesn't cost you guys anything, and you'll get to see all the new gear review videos that are coming out soon. And I've got a couple of really cool ones I cannot wait to get out to you guys. So anyways, I thank you guys for hanging out with me, and again, check out this Boss Boost pedal. I think it's awesome and simple and flexible and sounds great. So yeah, all right, that wraps it up. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.